This episode is sponsored by Incogni. Listen, guys, I don't know about you, but I get real tired of managing the spam and cold outreach to my contact info. Those annoying emails, phone calls from unknown numbers, wasting our time and valuable attention. Not to mention the bad stuff from data breaches, which are rising every year. To top it off, data brokers out there harvest our information and sell it to people who intend to spam you and scam you. So what do we do about it? Well, I use Incogni. I signed up to use the platform, and within 30 minutes, hundreds of requests have been sent and completed, removing my data from the public view. Incogni tracks down and removes your personal data from online directories, people search sites, and commercial databases. The process is fully automated for the hundreds of known data brokers who sell our data without consent. Got a site that they don't auto-hit? No problem. There's a custom removal feature to take down almost everything that is exposed online. So take it from me and take back your personal data with Incogni. Go to incogni.com/codestory and use code CODESTORY at checkout to get 60% off annual plans. You can also find the link in the episode description. That's incogni.com/codestory, because they can't harm you if they can't find you. This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. This episode is sponsored by Codecrafters. As an engineer myself, I know that the best way to learn how to code is to build something new. But sometimes it's hard to come up with project ideas as well as find a community of folks on the same learning path. That's where Codecrafters comes in. With Codecrafters, you can build something that actually stimulates your mind while strengthening your engineering fundamentals. And you can do so by using your favorite IDE or tools to code and build your own Git, Redis, or HTTP server in the language of your choice. Languages like Rust, C++, or Go. Codecrafters is designed to optimize your learning experience as it's designed for productivity. Sign up today and become a better, more confident programmer. Visit codestory.co/codecrafters. That's CODECRAFTERS to get started and get 40% off your upgrade. Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is sponsored by Postman. Postman is the world's leading API platform, trusted by 98% of the Fortune 500 and over 40 million developers. Tap into APIs from 18,000 plus companies to power agents that make smarter decisions. Learn more at postman.com/podcast/codestory. This message is sponsored by MailySearch. Today, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And MailySearch gives your users the experience they need with lightning-fast performance, full-text search, AI usage, and multimodal capabilities. MailySearch delivers relevant results in less than the blink of an eye. Use the promo code CODESTORY at checkout to get 2 months free at MailySearch.com. That's MEILI search.com. This episode is sponsored by NordProtect. In a world where data breaches are on the rise and identity theft is becoming more common, you have to take steps to protect yourself. NordProtect offers you everything you need to keep your identity safe, all in one easy place. It's built to help you safeguard your identity with advanced automation that works 24/7 on your behalf. Things like dark web monitoring, credit monitoring, security alerts, and more. And if the worst should occur, the platform walks alongside you for identity restoration. NordProtect plans come with financial coverage across a wide range of threats, from identity theft to online fraud and scams, so you are covered when it matters most. Get an exclusive 5% discount on NordProtect plans. Go to nordprotect.com/codestory and use the code CODESTORY at checkout. You can also find the link in the episode notes. That's nordprotect.com/codestory. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. Don't settle for less when you can have more, MOR, with Paddle, your merchant of record. Eliminate the headaches of payments, grow your revenue everywhere, and focus on what you do best, building your product. Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com.
I think the hardest part was how to build the formulas from the ground up, right? Because you have so many interconnected formulas and you're bringing in all this data from the CRM through APIs. How do you not worry about the usability of the product and worry only about the analytics of the product? And that's something that we consistently had to fight, because obviously you're doing this to be able to generate revenue. You're doing this to be able to service a customer, and that customer won't be serviced unless there's adoption and stickiness, right? So not worrying about that was always a challenge. My name is Juan DeAngulo. I'm the founder of Inselligence.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do next.
Took many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their back.
A company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve
Most
more.
proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was a
Yes,
pain.
we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time. The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind
Took it
you.
off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really
It's
want it.
not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story.
I'm your host, Noah Lappart, and today Juan DeAngulo is helping you drive predictable revenue by connecting marketing, sales, and customer service data. Juan DeAngulo was born and raised in South America, then eventually came to the States in 2017 for college to play tennis. He kept playing throughout college and into his 40s, at which point he switched to golf and never picked up a racket again. He's been married for 25 years with 2 older kids, one in law school and one studying software development. As a family, they enjoy comedy, which funny enough was an acquired taste for Juan. They also love being outdoors, anywhere they can get out and about. At a prior company, Juan and his team created proprietary algorithms to intelligently predict and tie revenue. These models were based on tried and true processes. While Juan was obtaining an advanced degree at Harvard, his current venture was incubated around predictive revenue and these algorithms. This is the creation story of Inselligence.
We are a RevOps navigation platform What does that mean? We have a deterministic AI engine that plugs with multiple different CRMs. And basically it just provides intelligence from really a process-driven standpoint of what's going on with the revenue operations of a company. So what does that mean? Where are you having bottlenecks in your process? How bad is the CRM data, right? Which is where it always starts the conversation. What types of improvements can you do from a process standpoint to improve that CRM utilization so that your data is better? It helps with reporting. It really helps with the quality of the reports. And it leads in the most important outcome of all of it, which is where the interest from companies usually starts, is it really gets you real good forecasting, right? The majority of companies, even the ones that are producing a forecast, they all know that the forecast is just a mediocre guess, right? There's no real good quality forecast when it comes to sales. And so that's our core. That's what we do. It's been a very interesting ride interacting with companies, bringing this to the forefront, and also starting to really integrate with a lot of the other conversational AI platforms that are out there that are addressing some of the similar pain points associated with sales, but that they don't have the type of process-driven intelligence that we have. So actually, the algorithms that are proprietary to us and that are patented, they actually began as an in-house solution in a prior company in terms of needing to have better forecasting, better visibility, and applying a lot of different advanced concepts related to bottleneck management and a lot of different areas of expertise to deliver these algorithms. And the early days of these algorithms, Noah, which is part of what makes it really interesting, go back decades, right? So it's from a methodology standpoint, it's a very tried and true process that was used as an in-house solution for many years. About 5 years ago now, 4.5 years ago, I was doing a postgraduate degree at Harvard Business School called OPM. It's Owners and Presidents Management Program. It's for specifically, it's like the MBA content, but for owners. And while I was there, Inselligence got incubated, and it was like any good story. It was unintentional in terms of the timing, but intentional in terms of exposing this really unique methodology that I had always benefited from in my own management of sales processes and revenue producing teams. And it got immediate attention. And that's how we got started. And we incubated it, did a beta process, tried it with some of my business friends, business owner friends in different industries, realized that there was a ton of value, and then decided to make the investment to start to build the interface and go to market. When you're going to give people revenue forecasting and telling them what they need to do to hit their number, sales being the lifeblood of the company, we really wanted to make sure that we had it really tight. So we took our time in the early days, and then we went to market. And obviously that's the real test, right? When is somebody really going to be willing to pay you for what you have? And what is your real positioning in the market?
Let's dive into what you would consider the MVP, and this will be interesting. It may be around, when you tried to take the algorithms and put the interface to it, when it was incubated, or what was the early version, right, of Inselligence, and how long did it take to build, and what sort of tools were you using to bring it to life?
The MVP, which actually coincided during COVID, which was very helpful, actually. It freed me up from other responsibilities, and it gave me the time to be able to lend my brain, because I'm the one that really had the algorithms in very sophisticated Excel spreadsheets, Visual Basic, very archaic in terms of its delivery, but all of the math was there. So I would say it took us probably a little over a year before we had an MVP that we could plug to a CRM to start to analyze the deal flow. And the MVP was essentially just the analysis part of it, right? No concern over the delivery or the UI or any of that. It was just, have we reproduced the formulas? Because it's not an algorithm, right? It's like hundreds of formulas working together real time to look at, 6 or 7 different KPIs that people usually look at in a vacuum and bringing them all together to really forecast your flow. And so I'd say that was the MVP. That was the first time that I said, okay, we have the brains at a point where we have something that we can build around. So that to me was the MVP. And what I did was I sat with some of my people that I know that ran different businesses that were willing to let us connect through the API to their CRM and just show them some of the data that was coming across. Of course, I had to explain it to them because the UI wasn't there yet. But I would say that was the first MVP.
So let's stay on that for a minute. When you're building that MVP, you got to make certain decisions and trade-offs, right? And I could probably cherry pick some areas where you had to based on what you're describing. But tell me about, a decision or two you had to work through in building that initial version, right? And how you coped with that decision.
I think the hardest part was how to build the formulas from the ground up, right? Because you have so many interconnected formulas and you're bringing in all this data from the CRM through APIs. How do you not worry about the usability of the product and worry only about the analytics of the product? And that's something that we consistently had to fight, because obviously you're doing this to be able to generate revenue. You're doing this to be able to service a customer, and that customer won't be serviced unless there's adoption and stickiness, right? So not worrying about that was always a challenge, because we would find ourselves naturally gravitating to that in our conversations. And then we would say, we're wasting time, right? Like we're putting the cart before the horse. That to me was a consistent challenge in building the MVP. MVP means minimal viable product. And I think that people end up building, and we did that. There were areas where we probably built more than we really needed before we really had something that we could test.
Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. As a startup, you face unique challenges to stay competitive. You and your team need to stay focused on your product, not your payments. You need to do more, MOR, and DIY less. With Paddle. Paddle is your merchant of record, becoming the seller of record for your SaaS transactions, enabling your team to focus on what's important, your product. Paddle handles all payment management across multiple gateways and methods, taking ownership of tax liability while remaining compliant with regulations across all markets. The platform handles all aspects of SaaS billing models, upgrades, add-on, trials, and more. Let's look at the results. MOR revenue optimization is built into Paddle and accounts for up to 16% higher conversion rates, reduced payment failures, localized pricing, and churn prevention, recovering 40% of cancellations. Their developer-friendly tools are API first with comprehensive documentation, removing the burden from your engineers. With Paddle as your merchant of record, you'll generate more revenue, find and keep more customers, grow faster, and stay compliant everywhere. So what are you waiting for? Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. This episode is brought to you by Vention, the engineering partner you need after the MVP launch. So you built fast with Lovable. You shipped your MVP, impressed investors, and maybe even landed your first users. Now comes the hard part. Vention's AI discovery workshops are built for teams who have moved fast and now need to figure out what's actually worth scaling. Led by senior engineers and an in-house CTO, the workshop helps you pressure test your use case, catch gaps early, and build a roadmap your team can actually deliver on, with the kind of engineering support that brings peace of mind, not second guessing. Lovable got you live. Vention gets you ready to scale. Go to ventionteams.com or book your AI workshop now at ventionteams.com/codestory and go from idea to impact faster. That's ventionteams.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Fullscale. Let me guess, your team's shipping sprint velocity looks good, but you're still asking yourself, is anyone actually thinking about the why? Matt Watson's been there. He's the founder behind Vin Solutions and Stackify and now runs Fullscale with a 300-plus person dev team. And after 2 decades in the trenches, he's seen the same pattern over and over. Smart developers stuck in systems that reward ticket-taking instead of real thinking. That's why he wrote Product Driven, a playbook for tech leaders who are done babysitting developers and ready to build teams that own the outcome. If you're tired of translating every feature, doing all the thinking, or wondering why your smart team is still stuck, this is the fix. Go to productdriven.com/codestory to grab the book and get the bonus toolkit to help your team shift from output to outcomes, like 12 bold ways to get your retros out of robot mode. Again, that's productdriven.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by MailySearch. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone, and you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need MailySearch. MailySearch is lightning-fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open-source AI search engine is plug-and-play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. MailySearch utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, MailySearch delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to MailySearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. So you've got that MVP, you've got the version, right, that is showing what you want to see, right? It's minimum. And you're ready to move it forward. How did you progress and mature the product? And I think to wrap that in a box a little bit, what I'm looking for is, how did you build your roadmap? How did you go about deciding that, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address with Inselligence?
So this is the part where I literally can tell you that I feel like we wasted like a year. Using the word waste, hindsight's always 20/20, right? But I would say that we could have done it a lot better. And if I ever have an opportunity to speak to somebody creating a technology solution, I always tell them the same thing. Go to market as fast as you can. It'll be earlier than you think, because you're so worried about having a product that is as good as you think you need it to be. But beta customers are not truly very helpful at the end of the day. They're helpful at a very low level, in my opinion and in my experience, because if somebody's not paying you for it, it's not a true test, right? So we ended up running like a beta process that was over a year. But at the end of the day, we should have just gone to market, because that's when you really learn what does your product need in order to really be a complete product, right? Product market fit, which is such an important milestone, you really are not on the road until you go to market. And so we spent, like I said, over a year in that beta step that I wish we would have gone to market a lot earlier. I think we would have learned a lot more things we learned once we went to market that I wish we would have learned earlier. And I'll give you an example. We developed integrations with 10 different CRMs. We should have gone to market with 1 or 2 and realized which are the ones that have an ICP that's more closely aligned with our ICP, and maximize your time, even more than the dollars too, but the time is more valuable than money. Time is money. And so that's really the second piece that I would focus on, right? Go to market as fast as you can.
You know, I'm curious, you're mentioning we when you're describing that roadmap. I'm curious about team. How did you go about building your team, and what did you look for in those people to indicate that they are the winning horses to join you?
So first of all, I have a co-founder, my brother, who's a software engineer and who was involved with the algorithms from their early days in terms of being created. And he worked at Texas Instruments and Ultimate Software and other like top-notch development shops. He had his own custom development shop. I call him Dr. Agile. He's the one that he like drilled agile software development methodology in my head. Like he is completely disciplined with it. So in the beginning, to do the MVP, we outsourced it. We worked with a third-party company. At the end of the day, that was good in the beginning because it was a faster way to make some progress. But we realized very quickly that in order for us to really take a good run at this, we needed our own team. We're both Colombian originally, and we still have some close ties down there. We were able to directly source some really good leadership on the DevOps side and hire someone that helped us build the team. Obviously, that helped with the cash burn because the quality is high and the cost is a lot lower than in the US. So we started to build the development team. And then as we were thinking about the go-to-market, I think as a founder, you have to realize what you know and what you don't know. And if there's one thing that I knew that I did not know was the SaaS space. I've sold my whole life in one way or another, but I didn't come from the SaaS world. We were very fortunate to attract the attention from a chief revenue officer that had built and scaled multiple teams in different SaaS solutions. And he knew a lot about the SaaS space. And that's why he was attracted to Inselligence. I wish I would have had this in all my different roles that I've had in the past. So to me, those were the key pieces, right? Like the dev team that could keep up with the development and the needs of the product. And then on the sales and marketing side, person that actually understood the language and the positioning and how to take this to market, and then work very closely with him as we went about doing that.
This episode is brought to you by Propel. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use Propel Auth. Propel Auth is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like managed UIs, enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, Propel Auth adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with Propel Auth. Check them out at propelauth.com. That's propelauth.com. This episode is sponsored by MailySearch. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need MailySearch. MailySearch has lightning-fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open-source AI search engine is plug-and-play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. MailySearch utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, MailySearch delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CodeStory, all one word, at checkout. Just go to meilisearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. Okay, let's flip to scalability. And this will be interesting. How did you approach scale in the beginning? Right? And it could be technology, people approaching the business, all that sort of thing. But how did you approach it in the beginning? Have there been interesting areas where you've had to fight scale as you've grown?
So I think of that in two buckets, right? I think about it on the go-to-market side, and then I think about it on the development side. On the development side, as you're identifying features, as you go to market and you start to get feedback from users and you identify things that you need, obviously in the early days, the roadmap piles up very quickly. And I think it's easy to potentially overreact and maybe overstaff a little bit because you want to just get it done tomorrow. But obviously, things take time. It's to do it right. You've got to test. You have to QA well. You have to get it to your customers, roll it out properly. And so I think we probably overstaffed a little bit on the development side at some points. But generally speaking, I would say that part of it has been okay. On the go-to-market side, we've really maximized, and this is something that I give a lot of credit to our CRO. We've tried do a lot of A/B testing. We've worked with a few different agencies. We've had outsourced SDRs. We've had in-house SDRs. We tested different databases from Apollo to ZoomInfo to others to really find what was, at the end of the day, the right source of lead flow that was going to lead to revenue. And that is where you're going to invest a lot of capital, right? When you're first going to market, if you want to have control of your own destiny, you're going to have to do a lot of direct sourcing of leads, especially if you're breaking in with a new concept, a new product that people have not looked for before. Because doing it through partners in the beginning is very dangerous because you're fully dependent on the partner giving you the right feedback to get that benefit of the go-to-market. So in the beginning, we really committed to go direct. As we evolved and we realized what is really our market positioning, what is really where we need to fit, then we started to pursue strategic partnerships that could help us expand the efficiency of our distribution. So managing that capacity on the go-to-market side has been an ebb and flow. There's been times we've had more SDRs, less SDRs. And as we realized where success was coming from, we either throttled that up or throttled it down.
I'm curious, Juan, as you step out on the balcony and you look across all that you've built thus far with Inselligence, what are you most proud of?
I think what I'm most proud of is that we have stayed committed to our core competency. And what I mean by that is it's very easy to become a feature chaser just for the sake of trying to win more revenue or win more deals, which is very hard, obviously, in the early days when that's the only measure that VCs or people measure you by, right? Like, what's your revenue? I think you need to be careful, right? Because if you have a solution that solves a core pain, people don't come to you really knowing what their core pain is, right? Like when companies come to us, they don't come to us saying, I've got a sales process problem. They come to us saying, my forecasting is really bad. I have really bad reporting. My data isn't good. All of those are symptoms of having a sales process issue. So in those symptoms, right, the headache, the infections in their organization, and I'm using that obviously as an analogy, it could be very easy to get caught up with a quick feature or something that satisfies them, but then you get away from your core differentiator. And our core differentiator at the end of the day, it's our deterministic AI platform, our algorithm, our process-driven intelligence. And that means that some customers that don't appreciate process are not going to buy from you. And that you just got to accept that they're not going to be your early adopters. They're going to be the laggards, maybe. So that's a tough one. It's a tough trade-off when you're in the early days of chasing revenue. But I think you have to stay committed if you really are going to build true enterprise value that can stand the test of time.
Juan, let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
I've talked about waiting too long to go to market. And I think I've also mentioned getting ahead of ourselves and building 10 different CRM integrations before we really needed them, which wasted time and development resources. I think we also wasted time translating the product into 2 other languages, anticipating that in the SaaS world, you're going to quickly probably go cross-border. In reality, the market that being in the US, the market we need to penetrate to really maximize market positioning is in the US. I think those are some of the mistakes that come to mind. I think I wouldn't call it a mistake, but it was an important learning. I think in the SaaS world, there is so much tech stack fatigue, so much that understanding who your ICP is very important. We figured some of that out by going to a couple of different conferences, which were expensive investments, but understanding the fit in the enterprise space versus the SME space was a very important path for us. And I think we went too early to an enterprise conference, which led us to feel like we were not a fit for the enterprise space. But I think in hindsight, the reality is that we are a very attractive solution for the enterprise space. And it's taking us some time to figure that out. And I would call that a mistake in terms of going there too early.
Let's move forward then. This will be fun to hear the passion in your voice, Juan. I'm curious what the future looks like for Inselligence, for the product and for your team.
Well, I'm very excited about the fact that the more time goes by and the more people learn about the realities of what AI can and cannot do, the more value exists in what we have. And what I mean by that is right now I hear a lot of people talking about human in the loop, right? AI by itself, there's really few things that it can do completely by itself. It's about augmenting human productivity. It's not about replacing it. Yeah, you might need less people to do more, but at the end of the day, you need people in the loop to be able to really augment something as personalized and as creative and value-driven as selling. You're not going to replace salespeople. You're not going to replace the SDR. You're not, especially on the outbound side. There's a lot of things that human creativity cannot be replaced. And so when it comes to process intelligence, where you have finite data sets, the generative AI folks that are out there, they know that without having the quick ability and transparency to show what's really going on in the process and in the data so that people can improve it, so people can actually get better, so process gets better, the more that evolves and the more people understand it, the more we are going to be worth in terms of value, perceived value to the customer immediately. And at the same time, the more we collaborate with these conversational AI platforms that have been built that do sales enablement and sales engagement, that are doing a great job at capturing the data and putting it into the CRM in an easier way, with empowering the salesperson to do less manual work, more time selling, and then inputting the data together with our deterministic AI platform. I think it's a very powerful combination. Also because the intelligence can be delivered to the rep without them even having to log into another system. I talked about the tech stack fatigue. It's very real. And what I love about a lot of the solutions that we're looking, or that we have partnered with in some cases already, we're being able to deliver insights and answers to people without them having to even manually log into another app, just a natural part of their day-to-day process. So I think we're going to continue to see consolidation in this space. And I think it ultimately is going to lead to simplified tech stacks that hopefully help sellers be better at their job and have leadership have better insights as to whether or not they're on track to hit their revenue, and Inselligence ultimately being that navigation platform that's going to help them get there.
Juan, let's switch to you. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to, and why.
I'm looking at it on my shelf right now, on my bookshelf. I think the most influential book that I've read in my career, and I read it a long time ago, but I've read it over and over again, and I give it to every person that I hire, is Good to Great, and by Jim Collins. And I think the There's a few reasons why it has remained so impactful to me. It's simple. It distills a lot of very complicated concepts to very simple pillars that stand the test of time and that hold true. I think it's something that you can apply on a day-to-day basis. And I'm someone that really believes in limiting and guarding the information that comes in through my eyes and my ears. I think that we live in an overstimulated society, and a lot of the news and the stuff that we see can probably influence us in a way that's distracting and not accretive. So I pick my sources carefully. I pick my economic indicators that I look at without having to listen to pundits. And I think that that's probably something that has been very helpful in the way that I work. And then the people that I closely relate with. I have a core group of friends that are all business owners that we get together and we talk. I think that they're very influential in my life. Most of them I met at Harvard during the OPM program, different industries, but dealing with very similar issues in different parts of the world. And we get together on a consistent basis and we talk about. So I would say that those are two sources of an ongoing influence in my life.
Okay, Juan, last question. So you're getting on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
I mean, there's a lot, obviously, that comes to mind, but I'll tell you the most important one, and I think it's something that you can, if I had to point to a book, I would say read The Founder's Dilemma. But I think understanding that your identity is not tied to what you're creating and having that as a continual compass in your decision-making is extremely important. I think when you let as a business owner, as a founder, when you let your identity get completely tied to what you're building, you will make mistakes. If it's going well, your ego will be inflated. You might not listen to the input from others. If it's not going well, your self-worth could be overly affected, which will affect your decision-making. And then if you're lucky enough to get it to grow and get out of the startup jungle and build momentum, you might make decisions in terms of what's the right either partnership opportunity or the right exit ramp. Because at the end of the day, creations, businesses, products, they have a life of their own. And a lot of times the life cycle of a business owner comes to a place where it's not in sync with the life cycle of their creation. And you have to know when to let go. Maybe when's the right time to not be CEO anymore and step back and be just a board member, or let somebody else come in and be the CEO, or maybe it's the right time to sell. So I think that just not allowing your identity to get fully wrapped around with what you're building or what the business means to you will help in a lot of different decisions that will come along the way.
Man, I couldn't agree more. That's fantastic advice. Well, Juan, thank you for being on the show today, and thank you for telling the creation story of Inselligence.
Thank you, Noah.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.
Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
In a world full of noise, long-term thinking stands out. On the Capital Ideas podcast, Capital Group leaders explore the decisions that matter most in investing, leadership, and life. It's a rare look inside a firm that's been helping people pursue their financial goals for more than 90 years. Listen to the Capital Ideas podcast from Capital Group, published by Capital Client Group, Inc.